Hi, last week I went down to my local AutoZone and I picked up these ceramic coating waxes. And now we're going to test them all, put them all to the test to see which one's best. Now, like I said in my other videos where I demonstrated each one individually, these are not real ceramic coatings. And it's important to know that because ceramic coatings take much longer, they're more expensive, and they're much more tedious, the process of applying them. Now, there's nothing wrong with these not being a real ceramic coating. You just need to know that you shouldn't pay someone $1,000 to put one of these on, whereas a ceramic coating really costs hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Now, the first step is we need to clean. We're gonna do 4 different panels on the hood here. It's dirty, looks like it got some sprinkler or some rain wear on it last night, so we're gonna clean that off with our waterless wash real quick, and then we'll go ahead and apply the coatings. The benefit of these ceramic waxes is that you don't necessarily have to polish your paint. As you can see, this is an old vehicle. It's got plenty of scratches, and we're just doing this for demonstration purposes. So we're gonna get ahead, and we're gonna start with the Chemical Guys Hydro Slick. I'm excited to try this one because this one costs about twice as much as the rest of them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply some to our, what in the world? Hold on a second. There we go. I'm gonna apply some, and you can see this is it's like a gel, which is kind of weird. So we're gonna start rubbing this in, start spreading it evenly on this panel. And we're gonna go up and down and side to side to make sure we cover the entire area. And we're also going to be doing this comparison test over time to see which one lasts the longest, which one fades. So I'm going to put a little bit more on just to make sure we got enough going here. And we'll give it a few minutes to cure and we'll wipe it off. So our next in line, well, I should say this one was about 40 bucks. So we'll see how long this bottle lasts and if it was worth it or if these cheaper options are the way to go. So next we'll try the Meguiar's ceramic wax. And as always, we get a new block. The stuff is white. And we're gonna spread this across the whole thing, down. And if you want to know anything specific about these products, you'll have to check out the videos where we did them individually. I'll apply a little bit more just to make sure we got enough. Careful not to go over that tape line. All right, now we'll give that a few minutes as well. Next, we're going to use our Griot's Garage Ceramic 3 in wax. Now this one isn't a paste or a gel, it's just a spray. So it's a lot easier. You don't really have to wait for it. You just spray it on and then wipe it off. This one is much more like a normal wax, so I'm not sure why it even says ceramic. It says SiO2 technology, which is the real ceramic coatings, SiO2. But we're going to spray it on and just spread it around. Flip to a dry end and just wipe it off. Let's get the streaks off. Okay, now we'll let that sit for a minute. Now we're going to try the Mother CMX Advanced Science Ceramic Coating SiO2 plus TiO2 nanoquartz technology. So that's quite the mouthful. They want to show off, and with all of these they just put the word ceramic in to get you to buy it because they want to trick you. So we're going to apply this to our towel. I'm going to apply it evenly this way. Now this one actually, this looks like a real ceramic coating looks, the haze. And so I am curious to see how it's gonna perform. Just make sure we get it all. All right, now I'll give it a few minutes, let it cure or haze and see how it reacts, and then we'll wipe it all off. All right, we've waited a few minutes, so now we're gonna start buffing it off. And I'm not sure if this is really switched to another side. There we go. Now it's starting to come off a little bit. But with that said, this is much more difficult than a regular wax. This is difficult because I feel like as soon as I try to get it off and scrub it, it just takes it off and moves it around. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. My goodness. Would not want to put this much work into doing this after my vehicle gets done. There we go. Now we're getting there. Alright, so that's just about all off. Okay, now we're gonna get another towel and do our Meguiar side. Now I polished this hood a few months ago, and I'll throw up the picture, but it basically turned really purple and yellow. So I got it black again, but the color's starting to fade and oxidize again. So unfortunately, I probably should have done that again before the demonstration, because you can see right in here versus right here, there's quite the difference. Now we already did this side. So now we'll get another towel for the CMX, the mother's ceramic spray coating, and then we'll test them out. Let's get right to this. Give it a few minutes. Nope, that's just that color fading. I'm gonna flip to a clean side and just go over the grit side real quick. Just to make sure we got it all cleaned off. Now when you do these ceramic waxes, it's good to give it time to cure before you introduce it back to the element. So you notice we got here before the sun came. We're gonna try not to drive this too much, and we're gonna let it cure. I want to pause right here and say that I wasn't too pleased with the application process, and so I did end up a few days later taking everything off and then reapplying each of the products, because I felt like with some of them, especially the chemical guys, the Hydro Slick, I felt like I was applying too much, which may have contributed to the difficulty in wiping it off. So I did take it off and reapply it a few days later, and then leave it even a few days to cure before I got to this next point. So last week I put down 3 tape lines and divided this into 4 sections, and I applied each of these products. Now I will admit that was about 4 days ago. I wasn't intending on leaving it for that long before we did our test, but I spent the last few days in the hospital because my wife had our baby, so I'm not too upset about that, but just so you're aware. And so you can see, you won't be able to see on the camera, but I can see where the tape was, which I think is good, because that means that there is a layer of that coating or that wax or whatever. So just before we begin the demonstration, we're going to throw some water on it, and I put some dirt in the water to make it a little more visible. Well, hopefully, even though it's a black car. But we put all of these on just a few days ago. I left it. Now this isn't a very scientific test. I don't have any bias, but there are kind of a lot of factors, because I'm sure there'll be people in the comments saying, you didn't apply this product right, you did this wrong or that. And I'm just doing this so you know which one you want to get, because everybody's car situation is different. Some people park their car outside, some people wash their car weekly, some people wash their car, once a month. There's a lot of different factors for lots of different people. So the correct answer is going to be different for everyone. Some of these are easier to apply, some of them will have better results. So we're just going to see just kind of what we have with what we got with what we have. So I'm going to take these down and we're going to throw the water on it. So like I mentioned, I did put some dirt, and there's some kind of bigger debris in here just so we can see it easier. And I did coat half the windshield with Rain-X, so I'm excited for this. Oh, that didn't work. So right off the bat, this is where our mother CMX was with the SiO2 technology. That seems to have done pretty well. This was our Griot's Garage 3-in-1 wax spray or whatever. This was our Meguiar's, and this was our Meguiar ceramic wax, and this was our Chemical Guys Hydro Slick. So obviously I didn't expect all these leaves and whatnot to come off all the way. We're looking at the water, really. So this probably would have been easier on a white car, but I definitely like this. There definitely seems to be less water on this side. And you can see the windshield too. I put on Rain-X on this side. This is fresh though. I did that just before we started filming. This has been sitting for a few days. The Griot's isn't too bad either. Now I think the Meguiar's looks worse because that's kind of where the bulk of the water hit, and so there's more of the bigger stuff. But there's still not much water on it compared to what I would have thought. And then this, the Chemical Guys side, maybe we should have done a fresh wash, or a fresh just water without any dirt or anything in it. And this is really bad for your paint, so don't do it to your car. Rub the dirt back into it. But you can see a pretty clear difference on the windshield. So I'm gonna wipe this down real quick and we'll go from there. So I just watched what we just did with this last bucket pour, and I saw we didn't really get this side, so I'm glad I washed it. So we got another bucket of water, no dirt, or just barely any from the last load. And I'm just gonna do this one a little slower. So I'm gonna dump half on this side, half on that side, and hopefully it works a little better. I was pouring right on that tape line. It looks like it went pretty far. This side's still holding up well. Let me do it on this side. So it's a little slower here, I think, unless it's just that's the way it's coming. But even then, it's coming off eventually. So I'm not too disappointed. They all seem to be doing their job. So I'm gonna do one last throw, get all of this off, just for kicks and giggles. So we just did this again, and it's not bad. It does its job. It's not perfect, but like I said in all my other videos, the ceramic disclaimer, these aren't real ceramic coatings, they're just ceramic waxes. So they have ceramic coating properties in them. Well, some of them do, but they're not the real deal. And so that's why they're only a few bucks and they're not hundreds of dollars. With that said, I'd like to review each one at a time. Chemical Guys Hydro Slick. I mean, it's kind of done its job. This one, however, was quite expensive. And I just put this on a different vehicle the other day and I wasn't too impressed with it, so I'll use the rest of it, but I won't be buying it again. It looks like I haven't used very much, so it looks like the bottle goes a long way, but it is expensive. It was like 40 bucks. The Griot, or the Meguiar's, excuse me, I do like this one. I was working on a different vehicle over the weekend and I needed to put something on it, and I chose this one, and I was not disappointed. It was a black car. It looks great. And I feel like this hides the scratches a little bit too. And the Griot ceramic, you can see it's done a decent job. That is by far the easiest one to apply. All you gotta do is spray it on and then just wipe it off. And so it's a matter of 2 minutes. Well, maybe a little longer if you're doing your whole car like you should. I only did this for this demonstration. But it's just a couple of minutes. You spray it on, wipe it off. And it's not too bad. I'll link, or I'll put the prices in the description so you know, because I don't remember them off of the top of my head. Then we have the Mother CMX ceramic, and this one looks like it has real SiO2 in it. It says SiO2 plus TiO2. So, and I could tell when I was applying it too, because I have done real ceramic coatings before, and it had those properties in it. And so this is holding pretty well. So I'm going to use all of them, and then just kind of buy different things. I hear Turtle Wax has a good one, so I'll buy theirs when I finish these ones, and maybe I'll do a video with that one and put it head to head with my favorites. But if I had to go buy a new one of these right now, I'd probably have to lean towards the Meguiar's, because I did do that other car in it and it did look really good. It looks great, and I just kind of feel a little more comfortable with that. This is easier. With the Meguiar's, you have to wait for it to haze, even though it doesn't really haze, but you're supposed to give it time and you wipe it off. And this is the easiest one to apply, and this one is just kind of in between. You spray it on your towel, you put it on, and then you wipe it off. So I do have some videos for these individually. I'll be coming out with more in the future. If you like this experiment or you have any other suggestions, please let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.